I would just say, we kind of understand, have that chemistry. We kind of understand how everyone plays, what their strengths and weaknesses are. So it really helps. Having Coretta in there now, he had a couple games started and then he had hurt, but now that he's in there full time, we kind of understand each other. So it's easy to, just in that thing in the back of your head, you know what everyone's doing. So.
What have your impressions been of the new guys?
They're really solid. I mean, Tino, athletic, strong. He's a workhorse in the weight room. Like, he's just someone that, as soon as he came in, he kind of started pushing me harder. Like, after he's done with the set, he'll just start hitting his own stuff, a core. Like, just seeing stuff like that, like, makes you want to work harder. So he's pushing us. Key is, he's a veteran player. He came over from Akron, so, just the experience, the knowledge that he's bringing in from over there. And the young guy, John, might be the strongest dude I've ever seen in my life. Just everything he does is strong. Even like the workouts, pushing the sleds, he's just pushing it like an offensive lineman, and it's moving. So I'm excited for his future for sure.
You mentioned Coretta moving to center. I mean, what's it just been like seeing him work there? How's he sort of fit in so far from your perspective?
I know he's always felt more comfortable there. That's kind of where he's been as a two. So it's not as much adjustment for him. It was more of adjustment for him to move to left guard. So he's comfortable in there making all the calls. He's been in that position, so we're very confident with him.
Last spring, you were pretty blunt in your assessment of the way things finished in 2024 with that losing streak. I mean, how do you just look back on the way things ended in 2025, losing 3 of your last 4 with the bowl game as well?
I think it was better than 2 years ago for sure. Just with bringing in Mason, having a young quarterback, again with some injuries to O-line, having to shuffle positions around. But as an O-line, I think it's still the same. Like, we just haven't stepped up to the standard. Every year, last couple of years, I come and peer talk how it has to be better, and it just hasn't been. So at this point, it's just, like, talk is cheap. You got to show up on Saturdays and prove that you've gotten better. So, we're just going to work throughout the spring, throughout the summer, camp, and on game day, we got to show up.
Does having so many returners help you as you guys try and, get better?
As an O-line or as a team?
As an O-line.
Oh, for sure. It's different when you have to bring in, like a new set of 3 guys starting, maybe even rotating 1 or 2 in, it's definitely a lot easier. You don't have to learn that many new things. But, you just got to be able to play together, so I guess so.
Is it kind of weird just being your last year, last spring, and it's all coming up to this moment, I guess?
Yeah, it's definitely, it went by fast, 5 years definitely went by fast, having 5 springs. Don't feel like it. You think 5 years, I know I'd have to wear a pitcher for a meeting, but still have to run down and grab a pitcher. But yeah, it definitely went by fast. It's been a blast. I'm ready.
You've been around a long time. I was just thinking about, as you were talking about the end of last season, I was thinking about bowl games, and you've been to a bunch of bowl games over the years. Do you feel like these days when there's the portal window and guys are transferring or NFL, is it harder to get up for a bowl game these days?
Definitely a lot more distractions. It's for a bowl game, some people might not see the significance in it. For me, it's another opportunity to put tape on film or put good tape on. But especially with people leaving, you don't know who's going to be playing for you, opt-outs. I feel bad for honestly the teams in the playoffs. Just like backups leaving while you have a chance to win a national championship. But with how the NCAA has the window, you really can't do much about it. You gotta, I know they give them 2 weeks after the season, but most people are picked up already by then. So to have a fair shot after the season, you want to leave as soon as it opens. So I really feel bad for those guys in the playoffs. So.
You talk about all the guys leaving, leaving these teams. Was there ever a thought that this year you could go somewhere else, or what made you stay here?
I wanted to finish what I started. I committed here, to be a leader of this team, to just to do my 4 or 5 years, however long it took. I had thoughts of maybe leaving last year, not to transfer, but hopefully for the draft. But I didn't play as good as I wanted to, so I'm back, and I want to finish what I started here when I initially committed out of high school. So I really didn't want to leave. I wanted to be here.
You say you didn't play as well as you had hoped to. What were some of the things that you fell short in trying to work on this offseason?
Pass protection. I feel like I've been, it's been my biggest downfall is pass protection. I think I'm good for 3/4 of the game. I feel like I start slow. I have really bad first halves. Second half, I usually pick it up, but I think I'm really good for most of the game, and then 5 plays when I mess up, it's really bad mess up. So I need to turn those mess ups into slightly, because you're not going to be perfect, but instead of a pressure or a sack, it needs to be like, you fix yourself after you got beat. You can't get beat and turn it into a really bad play. So I just need to fix my bad ones.
Ryan, what have the conversations with Coach Darbo been on that note? Maybe looking at bad plays. Has he more stressing to you? Just have a shorter memory, just move on? Is it more technique stuff you're trying to hash out? Just, I guess, how do you go about just eliminating some of those plays?
I would say when I was younger, it was for sure a memory thing. Like I'd let it get me caught up, and I'd turn into multiple bad plays after that. But as I've gotten older, it's definitely just a technique thing. You know, I sat down with Dews, I sat down with Darvo. I went through like 8 games of just straight pass plays and just watching. You know, what are the moves that got me? Is it them? Is it me? Something that I'm doing that I'm messing up? So, you know, it's mostly just I've been really working on my hands. You know, I don't have the longest arms, but they're long enough, so I just got to get them out there. Can't let people get into me, and you know, I just can't give up sacks. It's the name of the game, being a tackle.
Brent Davis comes in to coach tight ends, but he's also had a lot of experience working with the offensive line.
Yeah.
What have you just learned so far from him, or what type of conversations have you had maybe with him so far?
I haven't really gotten to have much with them coming in. They have to go straight into recruiting pretty much, so he hasn't been around, you know, that long. But he's definitely someone I'm going to reach out to, talk to with his experience at Army and even a couple years of VTech being an line coach. Just even the drills I see him working with the tight ends, you know, they're definitely going to, you know, make run blocking more of a focus over there. I see it, and I'm definitely going to ask him just some tips he's learned because he has a lot of experience. So, you know, the more you know is the better. So.
Ryan, I know Keith isn't practicing with you guys quite yet, but how good is it to have him back just in general?
It's always good, you know, just a veteran guy. You know, I think 5th or 6th year, I can't remember with him, but you know, just seeing him come back, fighting to get healthy, you know, for us, because he knows that he can help out this O-line, he can contribute, especially to be in his 2nd year. He understands the offense even better, so it would be great once he comes back. You know, just have that veteran experience, more competition.
Was there ever any conversation about possibly playing guard this year, or have you gotten any feedback that maybe guard would be an ideal position for you at the next level?
Yeah, it's definitely something I've heard, but in college it's tough. Like you kind of want experienced tackles, so it's something I thought about, something I've definitely talked about, but you know, I'm just wherever they want me, wherever they think is best for this team. That's where I'm focused on right now. Hopefully once I get to the next level, we focus on the next level, but right now it's whatever Pitt Panthers want me to be.
Ryan, Coach Narduzzi told us on Monday that he feels like this team you guys have right now in spring is better than the version last year, maybe even a year ago. Just what do you think about that? What do you see about this? What do you see in this overall group right now, early in spring?
Well, I think that's how it should be. You know, going into year 3 with an offensive coordinator, and then the defense pretty much stays the same, even though you have a new defense coordinator. Maybe some stuff changes, but the more experience you get with a certain offense, you should be getting better and better. And then the guys we're bringing in, you know, you start to realize what type of players you want and the type of archetypes you want, and you bring those guys in to really help out your offense. So, you know, I just think the guys we brought in, like, I don't really see many misses, especially with, you know, even with the mid-year freshmen. Like, I think a lot of the guys we brought in could contribute this year and play for us. So, you know, I think we look good right now. We'll see. Friday we put the pads on. That's when you really can tell. But, you know, I think we look pretty good right now.